Hi guys, it's Alex the Magician here, back for another video on Heroes 3 strategy. And in this video, I will be covering very basic things on how to start a game online and mainly the rules that you need to know before you start a game online against other people. So if you already know all of these things, if you know what restarts on 111 mean and the timer and things like that, then you don't need to watch this video, you can just skip it. This is mainly for people who have not played against other players yet, who don't know what rules people play by, and don't know what things like restarts and the timer and trade and things like that mean. So if none of those things sound familiar to you, then you should continue watching. So basically, when you start a game online, all you need to do is click on New Game, go to Multiplayer, and then click on Online Lobby. And you will see this. This is what the online lobby looks like. On the right, you have a list of players, and you can right-click them to see their rating and how many games they've played. And you'll see your rating on the left-hand side. But that's probably not going to be important to you because when you start, your rating is going to be 0. But what is important to you are the games that you will see on the left-hand side. These are the games that people are hosting for you to play, or the games that you can play. And then you'll also see the chat in the middle here, so you can type questions here in case you have questions. Now, before you join a game, you need to be aware of a few things. So first of all, you don't really want to join a game to somebody who has a much higher rating than you do. So if your rating is 0, you probably want to look for some of these games with people that also have a rating of 0. If you try to join this guy with 667 rating, he's just not going to play with you. So the other things that you need to know when somebody hosts a game, they usually type things like this, like JC131, 1472, 2x111, 1x112, 1 free ban. What does all of this mean? So the three main things that you will need to know are the standard restarts, the timer, and what trading for towns and color means. And the first thing, JC, is the map template. So JC, 6LM10A, are usually the most popular. So you can see there's JC, 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 JC. That's Jebus Cross. I will start covering that template in the next video that I make. But other than that, every game is going to have a timer. And usually, you will have a timer that's something like this. 1472 or 1272 or something of that sort. Usually more experienced players have timers like that. Like this guy has 1682. This guy has 831, which is actually kind of short. Well, I'm not sure if it's short because I actually haven't played this template before. It would be short for Jebus Cross, for JC. But what does this mean? So what this means is that you get 14 minutes for your first turn. So the first turn that you play against other players, you will have 14 minutes for that. Then the 7, the second number, means that you get 7 minutes for each additional turn. So you have 14 minutes for your first turn. If you used all the 14 minutes, the next turn you're going to have 7 minutes to do your turn. But this adds up. So if you did not use your 14 minutes, then you are going to have more for the next turn. So let's say you used only 4 minutes for the first turn. That means you have 10 left, and you will have 7 more for the next turn. So you have 17 minutes total. So this timer accumulates. And the last number, the 2, means how much more time you get for each fight. So inside of the game, when you have fights against the monsters that you need to fight, you get 2 minutes for that. So if you do the fight in under 2 minutes, that means it does not subtract any time from your overall timer. If you use more than 2 minutes, then you actually get time subtracted from your overall timer. So that is the basic timer. Now, the 1-2-4 or 1-3-1, what that means is you have simultaneous turns. So usually, as new players, you're probably going to have simultaneous turns on something like 1-3-1, maybe 1-2-7, maybe even later. Really good players will have simultaneous turns until like 1-1-7 or 1-2-1 maybe. And what that means when people say 1-2-7, 1-3-1, 1-2-1, 1-1-1, it means the first number is the month, the second number is the week, the third number is the day. So like 1-2-4 means month 1, week 2, day 4. So until week 2, day 4, these guys will have simultaneous turns. So that means that they don't have to wait until the other player plays their turn to play their turn. So it's like they play their turn together, and then the next turn, when they end the turn, they start the next turn together. You don't have to play the turn, then wait for your opponent to take a turn, then he waits for you to take a turn. So this makes the game a lot better and a lot faster and a bit more dynamic and less boring to even watch or play. Now, the restarts. This is pretty important. So the 1-1-1 means that usually when you play against other players, the standard rule is that you can restart the game twice on turn 1-1-1. So month 1, week 1, turn 1. So basically the first turn. So what that means is that on turn 1, you're gonna have to take a look at the map and determine whether that map is good enough for you to continue playing or you want to take a restart. And both you and your opponent have 2 restarts on 1-1-1 or 1 restart on 1-1-2. And this is standard. This is a standard rule. So if you take a restart on 1-1-1, this is going to mean you can only take 1 more restart on 1-1-1. You cannot take the 1-1-2. If you did not restart on 1-1-1, and then on turn 1-1-2, like something bad happens, you lose your main hero, or you just see that the map is worse than you thought on the first turn, you can still take a restart on 1-1-2. So you can either restart it twice on 1-1-1 or once on 1-1-2. And your opponent can do the same. And also what you need to remember is the red color says what they're doing first. So generally when people don't take a restart, they say plus. And if they take a restart, they just type 1-1-1. And then if they hosted, they just restart the game. Or if their opponent hosted, they'll restart the game. And the blue color, since the blue color is at a disadvantage, they get to wait for the red to say whether they restart or not. So if you're blue, you don't have to say 1-1-1 or 1-1-2 right away if you want to restart. You can wait until your opponent says 1-1-1 or 1-1-2 or plus. So if you want to restart, wait until your opponent says plus or restart first. And then maybe if they take a restart, you don't have to use yours. And the last thing that you need to know is the trade. So you can see here, a lot of people will say trade. Some people will say something else, like picks allowed or no trade or something like that. Now, the way that trading works, so generally, as a standard rule, when people play Jabba's Cross or maybe other templates, they expect for you to trade for the town. So, and the way that this works, when you create a game, and I'll just show you guys just to demonstrate this. So when you create a game, you have these PvP options, and you can do random versus random. When you click that, you get 2 different towns, 2 random towns. And that is going to be the pair. Now, certain towns are going to be stronger than others. And this is just normal, this is known, right? So for example, Necro is considered the strongest town, and a town like Cove and Inferno, they're considered the weakest. So if you have a pair, a random pair that is Necro versus Inferno, for example, then what's going to happen is you are going to be trading against the other person to see who gets the better town. And the way that this is gonna look is you're gonna say 1K, your opponent is gonna say 2K, then 3K, then 4K, then 4.1, 4.2, until you're willing to pay him. And what that means is that you are gonna be giving your opponent gold, or he's gonna be giving you gold, so that one of you can play that better town. And usually in a pair like Necro and Inferno, the difference is going to be something like 6K or 7K. And what that means is that the standard start is with 10K gold. Now, if he pays you 7K so that he can play Necro and you play Inferno, that means that you're going to start with 17K and he's only going to start with 3K. So because that town is that much stronger, he's going to need to pay, he's going to need to give you a better start in terms of gold. So that is what trading means. Now, you also need to trade for the color as well, because red is considered better. And generally, red is, it's going to be anywhere from 500 gold, maybe to 2,000 gold, depending on how much you actually pay for the better town. So after trading for the town, you're also going to trade for the color. Now, what I suggest you guys do when you first play, and this is actually what I did, I just picked one town and I played with that. So when I would host a game, I would type something like this. I would say JCXL standard restarts and then picks allowed. And what that means, the last part, picks allowed, it means that we get to pick our towns. So I would just pick whatever I wanted and our opponent would pick whatever he wanted without actually trading, without giving anybody any gold. I would actually suggest that you do that when you first start playing online, because if you just pick one town and you practice that over and over again, you'll start to learn much faster. You know, because there are just so many towns. And if you play all of them and if you try to trade, of course you can do that. But I just think that's going to take you much longer to learn, because you're going to be learning all 7 towns at once, right? And this is, I think, a much faster way to learn, to just play one town and to allow you and your opponent to pick the town. And actually, so there's one more thing, the roll free. What that means is, it's not a huge detail, but when you play that and somebody says roll 1 free, it means when you trade, when you do that random roll of castle against castle, if you don't like the pair, if you don't like a castle in there, you can say re-roll and you can ban a castle. But that is something that does not happen quite as often, so you may not necessarily come across that right away. Now, the only other thing that you need to know is that most games are played with tournament rules. And I'm not going to get into the actual tournament rules, but I will leave a link in the description below so that you can check them out, because it is important to know what rules you're playing by. It has some specific things that you cannot do in the game. So most games online are played with tournament rules, and you just need to know what those are so that you play by the rules. And then if you happen to play tournaments, you know how to play by the tournament rules. Okay, so that's about everything that I wanted to share in this video. So thank you guys for watching, and again, if you guys want to check out more Heroes 3 content, I actually stream this game live every day, starting around noon European time. I will leave the link to my Twitch stream down in the description below. So if you guys want to check it out, please follow, and that way you'll be notified when I go live.